Welcome back to our MLB 30 for 30 series. I'm Justin St. Peter.
And I'm Michael Hoeflinger.
Today we're talking about the Philadelphia Phillies. Philadelphia Phillies are stacked with left-handed hitters, and most of them are old. Ben Revere is a switch hitter, Carlos Ruiz is a righty, and Marlon Byrd are righties. The rest of their lineup is all lefties, including most of their bench.
Yep, they do have some guys a couple years ago that were really great players, and Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley, and Ryan Howard. You really did not want to face those guys, but they're getting kind of old, and their production has really dropped off. And notice they're all left-handed too.
Yeah, Ryan Howard signed a huge contract. He's an all-star first baseman, overall great player. Tore his Achilles, never really has been the same.
No, not really, and I think it's just kind of the age getting him, but he's still got a pop in his bat. He can definitely hit some when he gets a hold of them, and got that big swing, and big guy can really get on one.
Yeah, for Ryan Howard, he strikes out a lot too as well, but and he's gotten a lot better defensively, but still not the greatest defender. I'm a fan of Ryan Howard, but he's really starting to decline with his age. Same with Jimmy Rollins and Chase Utley. These two used to be one of the best double play combinations in the majors for years. Utley, perennial all-star, perennial injury all-star. Every year, it seems like he missed at least 20, 30 games at the minimum. Great player, but injury's got to kill you.
Yeah, he's been in that MVP discussion before, but not this year or anything, but he's still probably their best option at second base, and compared to some other teams, he's still the better option than a lot of other teams have.
Oh, yeah. If he can stay healthy, it's the same thing, but for half this team, it's if they can stay healthy. Jimmy Rollins, he's really starting to decline more so than Ryan Howard or Chase Utley the last few years. He was a leadoff hitter for the Phillies. He set a record, second highest hits in a row per game, second to Joe DiMaggio years back. Great all-around player, lots of speed, great defender. He's really starting to take a downhill spiral too.
Yep. Some guys, though, that aren't taking downhill spirals is their up-and-coming outfielder, Dominic Brown. That guy, he's a very underrated player. He definitely is a good player to have on your team, especially in the outfield. Very reliable fielder. He's got those long legs and arms, so he's fairly fast. Can really reach out and rob some hits, too, in the outfield.
Yeah, he had a breakout year last year. The Phillies, he was supposed to be the Phillies' answer, one of their outfield spots for a few years now, and really came into his own last year. A lot of home run pop. He was even in the discussion for the All-Star game, but didn't make it. This year, he probably has a better chance.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Ben Revere, they traded for him in the offseason last year, and he was supposed to be their leadoff hitter, center fielder. Really struggled to get on base. Great defender, a lot of speed. His bat's a question mark.
Yeah, that guy could fly. If he's on base, he's got to be looking to steal every time out, and just got to get on the base. Maybe he's got to take more walks, be a little more patient, especially for a leadoff guy. But he's still a developing guy. He was with the Twins system and didn't really get to see much playing time there because of other outfielders. But now that he's on a new team, he can see more time, and hopefully the Phillies can develop him because that guy has a lot of potential to get on base and be a true base stealer threat.
The other outfield spot, it's most likely going to be a platoon between Marlon Byrd, who after a long career and a steroid allegation where he spent 50 games on a DL or being suspended, between him and Philly great Bobby Abreu. They signed him, who is another lefty, surprise, surprise, but he leads the Phillies in many major categories. What do you think about their platoon?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I mean, they're both older players. Bobby Abreu, not really much speed out there, but Marlon Byrd's got a little more defensive ability. But, yeah, I think it's just kind of players that are reaching that point in their careers where their platoon is the best they're going to get, and just going to have to see. I mean, with how many left-handers they have, you got to throw some righties in that lineup. Marlon Byrd's one of the few guys in that lineup that can bat right-handed.
Yep. One of the other guys in that lineup that can bat right-handed is Carlos Ruiz. It's really who's been a solid catcher for many years, but along with Utley, Howard, and Rollins, he's getting old as well.
Yes, this team, I mean, you can see why they won the World Series a few years ago because, I mean, these guys were top of their game back then. I mean, it was just a stacked lineup, but with age, you got to just start to rebuild, and I think the Phillies need to start rebuilding these guys a little bit, this team up. Ruiz, not a bad catcher still, but, I mean, he's not in the ranks of Yadier or other Buster Posey.
Yep, so the Phillies, last year they tried to sign Michael Young. He played all right for them, and then they traded him to the Dodgers towards the end of the year for him to fuel a postseason run. They brought up young prospect Cody Ash, who is actually another lefty, surprise, but he a lot of home run pop, and it's really an unknown. They're going to try him out there.
Yeah, I haven't really seen much about him. I mean, I didn't really watch much of the Phillies, but recognize the name a little bit, so yeah, if they believe in him, why not give it a shot? They're going to need these younger guys to step up at some point, and he's going to be one of the focal points with him and Dominic Brown in the upcoming future.
Yep, and their starters. You can't say enough about their starters are very good.
Mm-hmm.
When you have Cliff Lee and A.J. Burnett, and then Cole Hamels, who might miss a few starts to start the year. Those top three, they could be aces on just about any team.
Yeah, that's A.J. Burnett had a phenomenal bounce back year last year with Pittsburgh, and now he's with Philly. And yeah, even Kyle Kendrick is not a bad four starter. I mean, if Kyle Kendrick's your four, you got three quality guys in front of him. And Cole Hamels signed that big extension with the Phillies, probably going to be a Philly for life. Cole Hamels can really pitch, and surprise, surprise, him and Cliff Lee are lefties.
Lefty, lefty, lefty. The Phillies are in love with them. But Cliff Lee, last year got just about 0 run support. Mm-hmm. He did not have many wins, but he had the same stats of the always dependable Cliff Lee. He'll give you a lot of strikeouts, single-digit walk numbers for when he was in his prime. Now he's probably about 30, 40 walks a year. Not that many, though. And Cliff Lee is a great, great pitcher. No run support last year. My bold prediction is that he's in the Cy Young race this year. They'll finally give him the run support that he deserves. He's been a Cy Young winner. I think he can do it again.
Yeah, deservedly so. He doesn't need much runs either. I mean, if you're only getting 1 a game, it's hard to go out there and be perfect. So if Phillies can just give him 4 runs, I think he can win a lot more games than what his stats showed last season.
Definitely. Jonathan Papelbon. He was a all-star closer for the Red Sox. He's been an all-star closer for the Phillies, but he wasn't too happy last year.
No, he didn't like the losing, and I mean, coming from Boston, and you just don't like losing when you come from those teams, and you just wasn't used to having an unsuccessful season. He put up his own numbers, but I mean, he was kind of responsible for a couple of those losses himself. He did blow a few of them, and he's got to take responsibility for the ones he didn't win either, but yeah, I don't think he was too happy there, and to be honest, I think if he gets off to a slow start this season, I think he's going to be upset again, and possible trade candidate, too, to a contender that will need a bullpen pitcher, especially a closer.
So you think he will be traded?
Yes, I do believe he will be, and I think the Phillies are going to be looking for some youth in the infield. They don't need any more starting pitching, but I think a nice shortstop prospect or a second base prospect just kind of would look good in the near future.
I would agree with that. They need a lot younger infield, and Papelbon, he's a very good luxury to have when you're being a good team. For right now, I don't see the Phillies winning the NL East, so you might as well get as much as you can for him.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that too.
To go along with Jonathan Papelbon, they also have a very, very good reliever in Mike Adams. He's been a top setup man for many years. He's got a bit of an injury bug, but he should be able to be healthy by opening day. He's been a top setup man for the Padres and the Rangers the last few years when they made their World Series run.
Yeah, the bullpen not really all that bad for the Phillies. I mean, they do pitch in a ballpark that is known to give up home runs a lot, and so they just got to prevent the home runs as well. But yeah, a lot of names that I recognize and guys that are going to not blow you away. Probably not all-star candidates, none of them but Papelbon, maybe Mike Adams. But they're just guys that are going to go out there and get the job done. They will give up a few runs, but nothing too major, I don't think.
Yeah, so all-star potential for the Phillies. If Cole Hamels doesn't miss too many starts, he could definitely make the all-star game.
Mm-hmm, yeah, he's a quality pitcher. Same with Cliff Lee. As long as he gets the run supports, his win-loss total should go up with the run.
Jonathan Papelbon, if he's happy and he does well, should be an all-star candidate.
Yes, and Dominic Brown, I think could be people might forget about him. I think he deserves it from what he's shown so far. He may not get in because of his name's not the most popular, but they got some other guys with popular names like Ryan Howard and Chase Utley, but their performance just may not match up with other ones, especially Ryan Howard with all the great first basemen with Goldschmidt, Votto, Freddie Freeman. It's just going to be tough for Howard. He just doesn't have this power like everyone else.
Yeah, Howard will be a tough sell. Chase Utley, I think, could sneak into the All-Star game based on his name alone, even if he doesn't have the greatest stats. But Dominic Brown, if he thumps a lot of home runs, people will start recognizing him, and they did last year, so you never know.
I agree with that. A couple other snubs. Maybe A.J. Burnett gets in. He's had a great year with Pittsburgh. If he can carry that over, people remember that Pittsburgh Pirates team, and he definitely deserves a spot for if he can repeat what he did last year.
Definitely. What are your realistic expectations for these guys?
Well, I don't see them being good enough to compete with the Nationals and the Braves, but I don't see them bad enough to compete with the Mets or the Marlins. So I think they're just kind of a lock for the 3 seed in the division. I think they're just kind of middle ground. I don't think they're a playoff team either, though.
I completely agree with that. The Braves and the Nationals are in a class above them, and the Mets and the Marlins are in a class below them. So the Phillies, they'll just kind of go through the season. Hopefully they'll find some time for young guys that hopefully step in eventually.
Yeah, they're in a lot better shape than the Mets and the Marlins, I think.
The Marlins, they have a lot of young players, but yeah, definitely. All right, thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow with
who we got tomorrow? We got the
New York Mets.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right, see you later.